Well, hello, and welcome to another video on how much I suck at Team Fortress 2 as a medic. So if you play Team Fortress 2 as a medic, you won't suck as bad as I do by watching my gameplay. Well, on to the topic of this actual topic of this video. As you see in the title that you are probably calling me a racist right off the bat just by looking at the title. Well, I'm here to prove myself right and you wrong. Well, you're probably thinking that, why would I buy a human being? That sounds pretty bad by the idea of owning another human being. But I'm not talking about present day, I'm talking about even present day you can argue, but just go back to the past. Let's just say that you are suddenly dropped into a body of a really rich white Virginian in the early 1800s. You know who you are, even though people see you differently, but you're someone else, but with your mind you have now. So, you would want to buy a human being to make them better off. But you're probably arguing, saying that, why don't you buy them and then set them free? Well, two problems with that. One, Virginia law states at the time that any African American freed by their owners has to leave the state within 3 years. That could be pretty problematic. And two, what would they do? They've been in bondage their entire life. So, by just fly, free, you're actually harming them because you're not getting any adequate skills to survive. So, by actually buying someone, you are actually helping them. It may seem contrary because you, in your mind, on paper, it's saying you own a human being, but when in actuality, you are helping them. Because actually, for example, Thomas Jefferson, after he died, many of the young African Americans on his plantation, Monticello, did not even know that they were slaves. Yes, they knew Mr. Jefferson and his family owned a lot more wealth than they did, but they never considered themselves slaves. Of course, the adults did, and relatively, that actually Jefferson and his slave drivers treated his slaves more fairly than most other slaves, if not all slaves in all the South. So with your knowledge today, even though you might think it's morally unreprehensible, oh God, what's that word I'm looking for? Never mind. Basically, the idea of owning humans might be bad, but you are actually being greedy by not buying people, because then you could purchase those human beings, people, African Americans, and then have them just work normal hours on your plantation, educate them, especially their children, and then when their children are educated, you could set them free. They can go up north, have a good job, and then send their parents to them. So, by owning human beings, actually even today, that even in the slave trade that goes around in many of third world countries, you can buy human beings with the idea of educating them and then later setting them free. So even though on paper, and other people might consider you owning a human being, you know in your heart that you don't consider them property, you consider them an individual, and you are there to help them. So, by owning a human being, you're actually being a better person. And so that's just a little mental thought game I thought you would enjoy. So, hope not see you in my next video. If I do make another video.
This is a fact. Some of these spouses have in fact murdered most of the FDA that have attended.